Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Fools of a Took. I'm Michael
I'm Nick.
and we're going to get back into another podcast for you. We're going to do Chapter 1, A Long Expected Party.
Yeah, buddy.
So we can try and remember what we learnt from the prologue, or we can just go straight into a basic summary of what happened and then get into the details.
Nah, if you want to know what happened in the prologue, we have a whole episode dedicated to it. So if you missed out, stiff shit.
I mean, this could be for your benefit as well as
No. I know what happened. Not well, but I know what happened.
Okay.
Alright, so what happened in A Long Expected Party?
A Long Expected Party. I mean, it really does sum it up in one phrase.
Okay, cool. So we don't need to read it. Done.
Aha.
That's 20 pages done. Summarized in like one small title.
Oh, 20 pages, Nick. How do you know it's 20 pages?
Okay, look, so listeners to our series would have known from our previous episode that I was listening to Lord of the Rings on Audible. And I lamented at how much I hated the person reading it. Because I had a terrible voice that was just, the worst voice to listen to for any book. And it just made Lord of the Rings that much more dry and painful. So I finally conceded and picked up my copy of Lord of the Rings off the shelf to read. And do I like it? A bit more, actually, all things considered.
Is it a bit better?
Yeah, it's a bit more tolerable. Like, I like audiobooks, and I like reading analog books.
It's an analog book.
Analog books. I like reading analog books. Yeah, they both have their merits. They both have their drawbacks. And I guess for Lord of the Rings, I should probably read it as intended by old mate, the Tolkien.
J?
J.
Oh, mate, J.
Old mate JR squared.
J2. Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, JR squared.
JR squared Tolkien.
Do you reckon he would be like a JR squared type operator when he was a young man, or a J2R, or JR2?
R2?
R2?
Actually, R2 is not bad. JR2 Tolkien.
JR2 Tolkien.
Yeah, that
JR
sounds pretty
squared
good.
Tolkien.
So you're saying squared. I think it sounds too wordy.
Squared 2. Yeah, okay. I guess so. That's both like one syllable.
Yeah, but squared, I don't know. Squared sounds like a longer syllable than two,
Squared.
especially with the D sound at the end.
Yeah, true. It depends if you enunciate that D. I do.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
All right. Anyway, back to the book. Back to the analog book. What happened in these 20 pages or so?
Oh, these 20 and a bit pages.
Yeah.
We learn a little bit more about Bilbo, at least how Bilbo is today.
Yep.
We get told he's approaching his 111th or 111st birthday.
First.
I wonder how far that goes with number and counting.
I don't think anyone lives that long.
They did say that old Took lived to, I think it was 142. I don't know why, but that number's in my head for some reason.
Is that one of those details that's like at the start of this chapter, talking about all the Tooks and the old mates? I don't remember hobbits.
You see a lot of names here.
Yeah, there's so many names.
There's a lot of names that come through.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to all of those, but you learn a little more about Bilbo and what his reputation is around the Shire. You get into a little bit of, inter-hobbit conversation.
Yeah.
Either talking about Bilbo or about Frodo.
True, yeah.
Or just sort of like leading up to the party.
Exposition, like disguised as conversation between characters.
Right? I don't mind that. As long as the conversation itself seems real enough.
Yeah, like, I guess that's like the sense I'm getting about hobbits is that they're gossipy folk.
They do seem a bit gossipy.
They love to talk shit about each other.
Yeah, which is funny because last week we were just saying that they seemed just simple, just were happy to just get through earning their own and just being kind of merry.
Yeah, but they're still like happy to do their own thing, but they look over at their neighbors and go, "Oh, look at this fuck face. What are they doing?" And like they're just like they're so judgy, like all of them.
They are a bit judgy. Oh, isn't that interesting though? But then only to the people who like aren't in their direct area, I think. Like if you live in the next town, or if you live like far east in Buckland, if you live in Buckland,
Yeah.
you're like, dude, what the hell are you doing there? Like if you live there, you're weird.
That's
Or
like
you're odd.
near the old forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you live on the border of the old forest and not a lot of fun things happen there, then yeah, it's like, what's the point of living in Buckland? So it's like, Hobbiton is like, it's a good place to be. Anyone who says otherwise is different.
So you're trying. I just want to like voice something.
Yeah, go.
So for those who have read Lord of the Rings, you know there's a map drawn by JR Squared, J2R, JR2, Mr. Tolkien drew it, and yeah, I'm looking at it, and there's nothing consistent. Like cartographers will be turning over in their grave, looking at this map. Like he's got like it's like he's trying to do like a top-down kind of map, but at the same time he's doing like a landscape thing. It's like he drew the landscape, and just went, oh fuck, I've run out of paper. I need to draw the rest of the map somehow. Fuck it, let's put it over the top of each other and see what happens.
Well, I mean, I understand it. You get all the, you can see where places are, and you know where the roads are and where they go. You know where the forests are,
Yeah.
and you know where the borders of the farthings
Well,
are.
I suppose if I look at it and I like filter out all the like the forest and mountain malarkey as embellishments or a stain, it's actually easy to read. Once you take out all that extra bullshit, it's readable.
It's like little illustrations to make it look kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Is that how you're considering the
Yeah.
illustrations of the mountains?
I'm considering it like a homemade map.
I don't doubt that one bit.
Like, yeah, or like, you know, when a kid makes something in school and just like, oh, look at this, I made it. Like, yeah, it's great, even though it's trash.
It's like if you're doing a bird's eye view of like the Himalayas or something, it's all going to be flat.
Yeah.
But then you'll just have the circles around signifying a rise in height.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas this just has pictures of mountains on
Yeah.
a bird's eye view of.
If you're gonna do it, like, you know,
Australia.
do the topographic old things and all that stuff.
Just make up your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's the thing, like, it's in between two different styles of map, and like, Tolkien is a great author, but was he a cartographer?
No, certainly not.
Seriously, mate, stay in your lane.
I think he was too proud to outsource any illustrations work to someone else.
Yeah, you know how it is back in the day. You know, do it yourself rather than look like a fool.
Well, I mean, he did literally everything else himself. I mean, as far as I know.
Oh, true, fair.
I mean, like the creation of languages and races and...
Yeah, actually, like that. That's something that's like that's something to say. Like, even though I haven't read the book, like I've heard that Tolkien like built so many languages and all these different things, and like really put a lot of thought into the world.
I'm excited to see that, how it's implemented in the book.
Yeah.
Because obviously we get to see people speak it in the films and I think they had like J.R. Tolkien, like linguist professionals and people who just like really do lots of research in fictional languages.
Yeah. Well,
And they have those people like teaching the actors how to speak a language that no one else has heard before.
true.
I thought that was just a wild thing to be able to see. But I'm intrigued to see how it reads. But we haven't seen any of it yet.
Yep, nah. It's just a lot of Hobbit-isms.
A lot of Hobbitisms.
Yeah.
And that only makes sense because the whole chapter is set in Hobbiton.
Yeah. Oh, also, just wanted to point something out. On the first page of this chapter,
Yes.
I am actually kind of chuffed because Bilbo and Frodo have the same birthday as me.
Isn't that a fun fact, ladies and gentlemen?
September 22nd.
So now everyone knows when Nick's birthday is, and you'll never know mine. Ha ha ha.
I'm like, that's amazing. I've never shared a birthday with a character before.
And now you got two.
Yeah.
Nick, Bilbo, Frodo. Same birthday. I think that's amazing. How's this basic summary going? We've already dived into a little bit here. And anyway, Gandalf arrives.
Yeah.
And we see like all the children are excited for him to arrive. He has a good chat with Bilbo about what plans he might have, or just getting to know, like just catching up a little bit.
Yeah, and also like it seems like Gandalf is kind of in on whatever harebrained scheme Bilbo was planning.
Yep.
Like he knows precisely what's going to happen.
It's like, so you're going through with your plan? It's like, yep. I was like, yeah, these people are gonna hate it, but all right, I'll watch.
Yeah, like he knows it's gonna fall flat on its face, but he still lets it happen.
Yep.
And I think it's even hilarious. Like Gandalf demonstrated what it's like to be a good friend, and he knows the joke's gonna be shit, but he still puts a little bit of theatricality. Like, what does he do? Like, puts like a little like light effect or something.
Yeah, it just
Bilbo
like adds
disappears.
a little flash to the disappearance, which you don't see in the film
No,
because
yeah.
it's meant to catch Gandalf by surprise.
Yeah,
He's not meant to know. Oh, at least the Lord of the Rings films doesn't depict that Gandalf knows he can disappear. But as we found out already in the books, already a chapter and a half in, half a chapter and a prologue.
Yeah,
and
Gandalf knew.
Gandalf knows everything about what the ring can do at this point.
So he knows everything is happening.
He's in on it.
Yeah.
He's in on the whole thing.
So it's like he knows what the outcome is going to be, yet he still lets everything happen.
Oh, Gandalf. He just stood by a little bit too long, right?
Yeah, stood like complicit to all this.
Yeah. Again, Saruman had a good point.
Like, I get why it wasn't featured in the film, because it paints Gandalf with a shit brush, if that's the case.
Yeah, a little bit. He played it safe a bit too much. Whereas, like, if he just finds out on the moment, then he's reacting all in one go.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, I've got to get on this. But
Yeah,
then-
well, I guess like as the audience, you're following Gandalf's experience.
Yes.
So you're just as confused as he is, visibly on screen.
Right.
So that makes a lot more sense as a director, compared to this, where you're sitting there and you're almost alienated by Gandalf's approach.
You almost are. Yeah. I'd agree with that. Yeah, Gandalf arrives, they chat, and then the party pretty much starts.
Yeah, like in the movie, it didn't really allude as to how much prep went into the party.
Oh, man, it was huge.
I don't know, it just seemed like it popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, okay. As in the party in the film?
Yeah. Nah, in the book, it was just like, bam. Like, it was like a week of build-up before the big reveal.
And it was like the post office were overbooked,
Yeah.
essentially.
I was picturing like Australia Post, like an Australia Post outlet, just chock a block full of invitations and paper, and just these hobbits scrambling, trying to work out where all these invitations and responses are going to go.
Yeah, it's figuring out, delivering all the invitations, but then receiving back all the replies. So, like, obviously, Bilbo's house, there were just like piles and piles of varieties of, yep, we'll be there.
Yeah, true.
And that's all, pretty much all there is. So, like, yep, all right, that person's coming. And then it kind of didn't matter in the end because there were a bunch of people who weren't invited but turned up anyway.
Oh,
Just that's how big the party was.
yeah, right, okay.
And then even then, they still had a special tent for when people came in for the speeches. And that was limited to 144 people.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I completely missed that detail.
Yeah.
Because I remember the 144 people, so I assumed it was 144 people overall.
Okay. Nah, so this is where by special invite, you got to go into the tent and get a sit-down meal and listen
right.
to Bilbo's speech.
So in terms of the party, it was just like a bush duff.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
picturing
much.
like a bush duff, and then the 144 people are like the VIPs again, go to this little tent.
I know, right? And yeah, the party happens, the speech happens. It was pretty close to what happened in the film, I think. It was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. The film definitely conveyed a lot of like awkwardness
Yes.
from Bilbo.
Although they kind of just did it kind of quickly, but the book just really dragged out like, all right, the audience is sick of this.
Yeah, it really just showed like how much bullshit that comes out of Bilbo's mouth. He just
Yeah.
keeps going and going and going. Like that uncle at Christmas.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, that uncle at Christmas you just don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But every year they would just talk and talk and talk.
It's okay, that's we get it. That's enough. Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
And he does his trick. Everyone's shocked, and then they announce more food to be served, or more food and drink to be served, and then everyone just kind of like forgets about it pretty quickly.
They're pretty
but then
bitter about
they were pretty shocked, and then as soon as food was offered, it was just a short-term memory thing. But then eventually, I think more and more people were like, "Yeah, that was pretty weird." As long as their bellies were fed, I think they were willing to sort of dismiss it.
Well, I think that's pretty much how hobbits are like. Give them food and they're happy.
Oh yeah, food and drink.
True. You can just imagine the spread that it would have had.
Oh man, it would have been unbelievable.
Just the cacophony of smells, and just how far do you reckon the smell would have permeated through the Shire?
At least 10 meters.
At least 10 minutes, yeah, fair enough.
It could have gone for a while though.
And then the next bit,
Bilbo and Gandalf.
yeah, Bilbo and Gandalf doing their thing. Yeah, that was actually pretty spot on.
That was a good scene.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Like I really
good
liked
scene
that
to
one.
read.
The thing that I actually was kind of blew me away was the detail about dwarves.
Yeah. And like how they were helping him leave
Yeah.
Bag End and
Yep, like they were willing.
accompanied him to Rivendell.
Exactly, they were willing to follow him along. Like, oh, dude, and that was just completely missing from the movie.
Yeah, Bilbo went by himself. It was just like his own decision, his own thing that he wanted to do by himself. But I just had some dwarves apparently just helping him along.
Like,
Yeah.
do you reckon it was one of the dwarves from The Hobbit?
Nah, I think they would have mentioned that.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because the
It would have been nice, but I think if it was one of the, how many were there? 13 dwarves.
Yep.
Well, I mean, there's only a couple died. A couple of kids. Thorin.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think it was one of the remaining dwarves from The Hobbit. I think they would have mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
But it makes sense that he's in with the dwarves.
Yeah.
They know who he is and they're...
I like to think that after he goes on this long journey, being surrounded by dwarves and being accustomed to the way that they operate, he probably misses hanging out with dwarves.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he probably loves just how blunt and to the point they are.
But then loyal at the same time.
Exactly.
Like,
So, and I feel like after he came back from his journey with the dwarves, he would come back to hobbits and being kind of put off by how, like, polite.
yeah. I'm surprised
Like,
he
yeah.
stayed another 50 years after he came back.
Yeah, like, surely he would have moved to some dwarven city and lived with dwarves after his big journey.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what dwarven settlements there were, at least on that side of
Yeah.
the Misty Mountains.
True.
But yeah, there would have been a few here or there, or just like a couple that are just traveling by. And if they're on that, if they're in like on the borders of the Shire, like if they hung around Bree or something like that, it probably like would have been, I guess, relatively friendly.
Yeah, okay.
At least they would have known who he was.
Yes.
And would have been accepting of, all right, it's
Yeah,
Bilbo
like-
Baggins.
yeah,
Like the
like
guy
he-
who went to Erebor and did the whole thing there. So yeah, Bilbo and Gandalf have that good scene. And then Bilbo leaves. And Frodo comes back
Yeah.
and has a convo with Gandalf.
Yep.
And Gandalf presents him with the ring.
It was he was real devastated that Bilbo left him.
And then Gandalf then admits, as like, all right, there's a little more to this ring than I think there is. I'm going to go find out about it. I got to leave you, Frodo. It's like, well, why?
Yeah.
And he says, keep it secret, keep it safe.
Yep. This was not in the movie, was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I thought in the movie, like, Frodo gets the ring,
Frodo gets the ring
and then they just leave, right?
because he's just seen what Bilbo did when he was asked to give it up. Mm-hmm. And Gandalf had to do the whole get big and dark. And
Yeah.
He said, the ring is yours now, Frodo. Keep it somewhere out of sight.
Yep.
And then it just cuts to Gandalf getting ready to leave. He's like, where are you going? There are things that I must see to. What things? Questions. Questions that need answering. You've only just arrived. I don't understand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. And then he's gone.
Yep.
Off to Minas Tirith.
Doesn't he, like, grab Sam and like...
That's after he gets back.
Oh, it's after he gets back. I
Yeah.
see. Okay, now I'm with you.
So that'll be in another
Yep.
chapter.
Okay.
That might be in the next chapter.
Right. Cool. Mind you, I've only seen the movie, what, once, twice.
I think twice.
Twice. It shows how much or little what was actually retained.
Yes.
Actually, and then there was this next bit. There was where Frodo just becomes the executor of Bilbo's estate.
Right? It's like the day after the party.
Day after the party,
Yep.
all that stuff, and having to like deal with all his family members coming in and trying to get as much as they can out of Bilbo.
Oh man, what savages, weren't they?
Yeah, freaking the Sackville Bagginses.
Sackville Bagginses.
Oh, they're terrible, terrible people.
They are terrible, but I guess, I don't know, I want to try and look at it from their perspective. You live 55, 60 years, you're second to Bilbo, and you're set to earn all his inheritance.
Yep.
And then you find out that he's going to adopt little Frodo because his parents have died.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to get Bag End, you're not going to get the nice mansion of a house, you're not going to get all this and that. And you just spend the next 30 years being a bit sour about it. And that just evolves into a whole...
Yeah, this is so greedy and terrible, like...
I mean, they weren't good people to begin with. Because
Yeah.
we see in The Hobbit that Lavidia is making off with a spoon.
Yeah. Yes.
And I mean, she could have been a bit more ambitious, but still, they're trying to steal his stuff because they want it.
They just want an easy way to make money.
Yeah, they want to get rich quick. They want to get rich by inheritance.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's not the best way. I'm not going to say they're good people at all, but I could see a little bit of why they're a bit upset.
Okay, that's fair. They're a bit upset because they're stupid and...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They dug themselves into a hole
Exactly, yeah. Oh my god.
and called it a home.
Oh my god. Oh no. Yeah, fair call. You got me good with that one.
I only just realized that I was making that pun as I was saying it, though.
Yeah, and it was just so seamless. I didn't pick up on it.
I wonder if anyone at home did.
Hold on, I wasn't ready for that.
Thank you. Either was I.
That rarely happens when you get me like that.
Oh, fantastic.
And then after that, so as Frodo's doing the all the estate stuff.
Yes.
He's got what? Mary?
Yeah, Mary's there helping
Mary's
out.
helping him out.
This is the first time we've seen Mary.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's weird to see Mary and Frodo doing adult things.
Yeah, but just seeing them, just the two of them,
Yeah, exactly.
which you don't see in the films.
I think this would be a great scene. Like, if it was in like an extended cut,
Yeah, extra extension.
the expansion pack.
Time extension.
Yes. What's that? Daytona.
That's a Daytona.
Well, yeah, it was just weird because in the movie, I watch it and think, Frodo and all the hobbits are like teenagers.
Yeah.
That's how I picture them. So,
I mean, Frodo only just came of age.
yeah,
He only just had his coming of age. He
33.
Turned 33.
So we're still kids in
Oh,
by
mate.
Hobbit definition.
Yeah, so when's our coming of age? Would you say 18?
Yeah.
At least in Australia, it's 18. If you're
Actually-
in America, would you say 21?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're gonna say. Like, is it voting age? Is it age of consent? Is it drinking age? Like,
I guess, like, culturally, America treats it as 21. They just make a big song and dance about it.
Yep. But there's also like another thing. Like, do you say you come of age when you gain independence?
Yeah.
So learning to drive and being able to drive solo is tantamount to gaining independence in a way.
Yep, absolutely. In America, you get your driving license at 16?
I imagine. I think so.
I think it's 16.
Yeah, I 16. So they all of a sudden gain this extra independence and ability to move around freely at the age of 16, yet they can't vote or drink. So we got like a 5-year range, 16 to 21.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Yeah. So it's like 17 to at least up to 17 years difference.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between a human and a hobbit.
Between a human and a hobbit. So that would make us 14 in hobbit years.
Yeah, about there. 14. If you contextualize it that way, I feel a lot better about my life's progression.
Yeah.
And really think about it, like, 33, that's when you're truly an adult.
I'll be happy to accept that.
Likewise. Well, with current life expectancy, like, it makes more sense for adulthood to really start in our 30s.
Yeah, I feel like it's happening more and more often anyway.
Yeah, where you gain like true financial independence, free of debt, able to make large purchases and lifelong commitments. That only really happens in your 30s.
Yeah.
So like during your 20s, you're really still like a teenager, or you're still like a pre-adult.
Everyone seems more focused on furthering themselves as humans before. And yeah, I feel like the average age for marriage and like the birth of a first child is, I'd say that might be going up. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
As like our relative level of education increases,
Yep.
the average age of having a kid increases as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Also because a lot of people realize that kids are pretty much like exotic animals. They're expensive, they're really hard to deal with, and only the super rich and stupid own them.
Yeah.
Feel free to at me for that. I will stand by that opinion until the day I die or have a child, whichever comes first.
I mean, both may happen.
Both. There's an equal chance of both. Okay, so then, so these two young men are dealing with Bilbo's belongings, and they're navigating the whole all the nuances of dealing with someone's a seemingly deceased person's estate.
Yes.
Because it's essentially considering him dead.
Well, they figure everyone's gone to Frodo in the morning, and it's like, all right, so where's Bilbo? He played his trick. Where is he? And it's like, he's gone away. He's probably not coming back. In the meantime, he's got some gifts lined up for you. They've got your names on them. You can come in one by one and collect them. Next minute, like everyone's just flooding into the house and is just trying to steal whatever they can. And it's just Frodo and Merry like, yep, all right, should have expected this.
Yeah, I picture them just standing there going, well, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah, right? Because now everyone is just seeing their chance to just finally jump in on Bilbo's wealth, I guess. Because everyone's just hearing stories or rumors of tunnels and tunnels of treasure and jewels and gold from his travels.
Yeah, the opportunistic little fuckers.
Right?
Yeah.
Hobbits. Tell you what.
Yes, they're treating him as though he's dead.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing that I sort of picked up on is that, well, in Hobbit tradition or custom is on your birthday you give gifts.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that much growing up, at least. Like
I've never heard of it.
Traditional Western culture, like everyone buys the person, like the birthday person's present.
Yeah. Or like the birthday person doesn't have to pay for anything.
More often than not, they provide the facilities for the party, but then
And
everyone else will just
bring
return the
stuff.
favor by giving them a present.
Yeah.
It's like a thank you for being invited, thank you for being a good friend, happy birthday, there you go. But then in Hobbit culture, it's just everyone, you just have to rock up, you'll get something,
Yep.
you'll get a feed.
Yep.
It's like, it gives, I don't know, it gives you more incentive to want to come. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
is it because hobbits don't want to leave their home, and so they only do it they do it for good reason?
Yeah.
And good reason for a hobbit is essentially food.
Oh, mate. Yeah, you know you're going to get a feed, then yeah, it's a pretty good reason to go.
Yeah.
But again, it's not like all you're doing is just getting a bunch of presents, because one day your birthday is going to roll around.
True.
You'll have a party, and then I feel like you'll just re-gift half of the stuff that you got during the year
Yeah.
to everyone else.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like this funny cycle that is just going to keep happening.
Yeah, so that's the thing I was kind of thinking, like, with Bilbo legally dying,
Yep.
would he really be, like, giving away stuff? Would that custom be a thing for hobbits? When you die, you give away things just like, like humans in our society?
Well, I mean, he said a will,
Yeah.
and that was implemented. They really did treat it as if he died, because then everything was left to Frodo,
Yep.
bar a few bits of furniture or like things, this and that. But the birthday gifts, I think, were different things entirely.
Yep. If we were raised in such a way that on our birthdays, we'll gift stuff away,
Yeah.
right? So it's like we're almost sharing everything outwards to our community. So would it be correct in assuming that when someone dies, their entire estate also gets shared out to the community?
Oh, because, yeah, Sackville Bankers is. Like, I was meant to get the house. I was meant to get all these nice things. I don't get that anymore. So maybe it was just traditional inheritance-based
Yep.
things when it comes to death.
Yeah, right.
But just the birthdays.
Birthday is just a weird one.
Birthday's just an odd thing out. Could you do that, do you reckon?
I reckon if I reached a certain point of financial stability, I reckon I could.
Yeah. And then eventually, I think it would get to a point where, yeah, like I think it would just turn into like re-gifting.
Yeah.
Because most of the things that you would give away would just be like old little trinkets or it's like fun things to do. Like maybe like a puzzle or a Lego set or it's like something like that. There's something that you got as much as you want out of it and you wouldn't feel sad about letting it go and letting someone else enjoy it for a few months.
Yeah, I don't
before
know.
they then re-gift it to someone else.
Yeah. I don't know. I personally don't have I don't hold a lot of significance with gifts
Yeah.
because that's just not my thing.
Oh, that's fair enough. Like gift giving isn't really
Gift giving, gift receiving, like receiving gifts is nice,
Yeah.
but I kind of like I'm at that stage where if I want something, I'll buy it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's mostly because through my life and through my experiences, I've just had far too many shit gifts.
Yeah. Actually, no, that's fair enough.
So like because I had so many shit gifts, I don't like I don't want to run the risk of giving a shit gift. And I don't like receiving shit gifts.
So if you just receive like pretty much, I don't know, depending on how many friends you have, like once a week you receive a gift, you're like, and then it just accumulates to 51 gifts stuck in your house and you're just waiting for your birthday to come around so you can get rid of them all.
and give the exact same gift to the person who gave it to me. So it just becomes like this gift that goes back and forth between myself and one other person for the rest of our lives.
That doesn't sound bad though.
That sounds like purgatory. It sounds terrible.
It sounds funny. All right, if it only happened with you and one person.
Yeah. Actually, no,
that's
it's like our birthday card.
Actually, yeah, for those at home, we do this funny thing. We've got one envelope sitting on the bookshelf and it's got both of our... No, actually, it's blank.
Yeah, it's blank.
But inside the card, Nick gave it to me first and he just wrote really finely on the top line, "Happy 26th birthday, love Nick."
Yeah.
And then the next line underneath it, I've written, "Happy 26th birthday, love Mickle."
Yeah.
And then the next one underneath, "Happy 27th birthday, Mickle, love Nick." So we're just going to keep re-gifting and card to each other.
Yeah, we're going to keep recycling the card. Yeah, so like if we... Okay, so I think there are some merits to this Hobbit method of, gift giving.
Yes.
If I didn't need to worry about like thinking, oh shit, what do I get Mickle for his birthday? Oh, I know, I'll just give him what he gave me. There's no anxiety or worrying about like what Mickle actually wants.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give him what he gave me. So it's simple. We just go back and forth. So realistically, it's just like, we're saving resources. We're not buying things that go to waste or go to landfill. We're just, giving the exact same thing back and forth. It could just be completely wrapped, perfectly wrapped since from the day it was sent the first time and just keeps bouncing back and forth.
And here is this box of something still wrapped that you gave me. And then, it could just go back and forth like that for a while.
Yeah, and then maybe like, our theoretical kids will keep doing the same thing between each other.
Oh, that would be amazing.
And it just keeps going and going and going, and no one knows what's inside it.
I would love that.
Schrodinger's gift.
Generations of mystery.
Yeah. And then they open up as a pair of socks.
The perfect gift.
Oh, I just really hope it's not like a small animal or something.
In that case, the person who bought the gift would have been like, "All right,
You should
you'll
probably open it, yeah.
you should probably open this one. Please open it."
Yeah. Nevertheless, never gift anyone an animal.
No, don't do that anyway. I agree.
Yeah, like, hi, happy birthday. Here's responsibility.
Giving you responsibility for your birthday. All right, I think only parents can do that if the child really, really asks for it. That's the only situation I think is more acceptable.
Even then.
Even then, though.
Even then, I reckon like it has to be like a full agreement by the child as well.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Or like the child has to fully like really advocate and understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because
it's easy for a child to say, like, I want a dog, I want a dog. I
yeah,
want a dog.
but and so like if a child can demonstrate that they understand the costs relating to having a pet, the time period, like the day-to-day execution of having a pet, everything. And if they could do it using a PowerPoint presentation.
It's like, all right, see what you got.
Actually, there's a lot of merit to like the style of parenting where parents just ask their kids why continuously until they get
Isn't that good?
yeah, like I want a dog. Why? Oh, because they're so cuddly. But why though? And just keep going and going and going and interrogating the kid, and so eventually that kid will be able to form arguments that make sense, and eventually it reaches a point where the kid is using like solid facts that so they can deductively say that they want they want a pet and they can look after a pet.
That's really good. And it kind of like, and it funnily enough flips the table on the child as well, because especially from 4 or 5 to say like 9 or 10, they're the ones that are constantly asking why,
True.
because they're still learning about the world, about how it works.
Yep.
So then once they're able to just start working things out for themselves and they figure out that they want things, then now the parent can start asking, why do you want this? And then they can have a deeper look into that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Parenting tips with Mickle and Nickel.
Both childless people.
Childless 14-year-old hobbits.
All right. I think we went through the chapter. I mean, we intended on going through it quickly in a basic summary, but we did.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think we can ever do like a basic summary.
Yeah, that's fair. But were there any other points from the chapter that we probably skipped over?
Oh, the glyphs relating to Gandalf.
Yes. I mean, it's got the letter G.
Yeah, the letter G in, I assume, common?
Probably.
Yeah.
It looks relatively common.
Yeah, or like, is that the common tongue?
Yeah. Or like common text.
Common text, yeah.
And then
Then-
the elf rune.
Yeah, the elf rune. Now, I thought that was really cool because I recognized it from The Hobbit.
Yep, it's this is the same symbol that Gandalf draws on Bilbo's front door, so that the dwarves know where to come.
So he's gone up to the door and tagged it. El Barto was here.
El Gandalfo.
El Gandalfo was here.
But yeah, that's Gandalf's mark. It's a really nice little simple thing. I mean, I'm surprised no one else. I'm surprised it's its own unique thing. It's like you see that, I don't know, it's just a line down the middle with 2 sticks poking out the right side of it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, you could probably see that a few times in your travels. I was like, oh, Gandalf was there. Gandalf was there. Oh, was Gandalf here too? Wait, how did Gandalf get up there?
The Banksy of Middle Earth. So he's just, everywhere he goes, he's just marking his territory, just tagging up a rock. Actually, do you reckon Gandalf tagged the mountain trolls?
I would.
The ones that he turned to stone, and then he just tags them with his tag, and off he goes. Yeah, that was really cool. Like I was really excited to see that.
Yeah, and the fact that design is there from the get-go.
Yeah, so Tolkien designed that language himself, or like created that language,
created these runes, and yeah, well, this is the first time we see any of that. So
yeah,
I think it's awesome.
Like it makes me wonder: did he go forwards in like someone would designing a language like through use? Did he do it like using pictographs and then reducing the pictographs to symbols and then symbols to an alphabet? Or did he go backwards and go, the language will turn out like this, I'm going to work my way backwards to find the intermediate point between a picture and Greek, for example.
Right. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, honestly.
Yeah, if anyone knows the answer, write in, let us know.
Oh, 100%.
Like-
We'll give you a shout out
Yeah.
as well, of course.
We'll cite our references.
It's like we know as much as we know just by watching the movies. Maybe a couple of YouTube videos here and there. Or in my case.
So we pretty much know as much as we know through osmosis.
Yeah. So we know that there's going to be a lot of people out there who know a lot more than us, and I'm very keen to learn about.
Yeah, actually, if we have any listeners who have done research into anything Lord of the Rings related, if you've done your PhD on Lord of the Rings, let us know. Or anything related to Lord of the Rings.
Yep. But then, I don't know, don't spoil anything for us, though. Just only tell us stuff related to the things that we've read so far. Any other bits? I found out the name of Sam's dad.
Yeah, that was never mentioned in the movie.
No, he's just referred to as Gaffer.
Yeah. So is a gaffer what, a gardener?
Oh, it's just what they call Sam's dad.
The gaffer.
Yeah. They don't talk about why he's called the Gaffer.
He is.
His name is Ham Gamgee.
Ham.
And it doesn't say it's short for anything. It's like not Hamish.
Yeah, because
Like-
Hamish. Do
It just says Ham.
you think anyone calls him pork?
I wish, but they call him Gaffer. And I don't know why.
Maybe we'll find out later on.
I feel like if we were to find out, we would have found out here.
I don't know. I feel like there's going to be 2 or 3 chapters of Frodo in the Shire before he leaves on his journey.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, but...
And there'll be other gossipy conversations that are, a hidden form of plot-driving exposition.
Yeah, probably. So Gamgees are protecting or defending Baggins from the start as well. So you've got Ham Gamgee, and they've got this scene where they're just talking about Bilbo and just how odd he is. And it's they use the word queer.
Yeah.
That is the only place I've seen. I don't know if this happened in the 40s, but they use the word queer as just odd or strange or unusual.
True, yeah.
And I wonder if that evolved into, I don't know, being used in LGBTI community, them being comfortably referring to themselves as queer. I wonder, I don't know. If
when did the shift happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there even was a shift. I don't know if...
Or were they implying that he was gay the whole time?
Or even if they were. I don't know, I feel mid-2000s or 2010s, people would say, if something was annoying, it's oh, that's so gay.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I heard that. Because I wouldn't dare say it nowadays.
Yeah, no.
Because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't... Yeah.
But I don't know if that's part of the same kind of intention of use. Mm-hmm. So if queer already meant someone who's not straight, but then people are also using queer as something unusual or odd or strange or weird. Yeah. I don't know. It was just something oh man, they're really using the word queer a lot here just for something that's, unusual. And I wonder if there's any implication or shift in definition over time to how we use it today.
Yeah, well, I guess the other word they could use is odd.
Oh, they totally could have.
Yeah, maybe odd just carries a different connotation to the word queer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then again, it's just we're looking at the etymology of the word queer.
Yeah, exactly.
Specifically in the 1940s.
I think that's when this was released or published.
I guess another dipstick we could use is we know that C.S. Lewis was a contemporary of Tolkien.
Yeah, they were good mates.
Yeah, so you can just read Narnia and see how many times C.S. Lewis uses the word queer.
If they use that at all.
And if he does, you could probably say with some confidence that queer was just a word that was in the vocabulary of people from that time.
Yeah. I just looked at the front of the book and it's first published in 1954.
Okay, so in the 50s.
Yeah.
The time of progressive humans. Sarcasm.
So I don't know, was Elvis around yet? Maybe. Elvis was doing stuff? I don't know.
Are you alluding that Elvis is progressive?
He did stuff with his hips. That wasn't seen very much in entertainment at the time. I don't know, that's the only thing I can think of.
He knew how to rock the boat. That was it.
Oh, he rocked the boat.
He got vaccinated on live television.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There was like I forget which vaccine it was for, but he got vaccinated on live television, and that like increased the numbers of vaccines dosed out.
If only that worked today.
Yeah, okay. For that to work today, which celebrity would have to get vaccinated and be like, "Hey, the COVID vaccine's good for you"? Who has that level of influence?
Well, I mean, it depends on the people who need to be influenced or who need to be convinced to get a vaccine.
Okay, so anti-vaxxers.
Trump.
So if Trump got a vaccine on live television,
And it worked out, then surely the anti-vaxxers might go for it.
no, Tiger King.
I didn't even watch that. I was not interested.
Yeah, like I don't think there's no poster celebrity for anti-vaxxers or or COVID conspiracy theorists.
Well, I don't think so. Like, you can only just go to the top of Republican people, I guess.
Yeah,
But that's it.
Yeah,
I can't
that's it.
even.
There's no one. No one's got that level of pull in our society like
Yeah.
Elvis did.
Anyway, back to It's another tangent from Nick and Mickle. What else happens here? Okay. How well do you know your family trees and how they work?
I know pine, jarrah, blackwood.
All right, so you might be in with a shout. Not really. But all right, so the relationship or the relation link between Bilbo and Frodo.
They're cousins.
They're first and second cousins.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll read the passage that talks about what the relation is.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we've just cut to the final conclusion. If you want to find out how much of a journey we just went through to find out something that was in front of us the whole time, then click on the video on YouTube or Facebook or
Whatever platform we decide to put this on.
yeah, wherever we're putting out. Because at this time we haven't released anything yet. We're just recording a couple of episodes ahead of time so we can make sure that regardless of what happens in the future, we're still able to put episodes out weekly for you.
Yeah.
And then record little bits for the start or the finish of things that you tell us
Yeah.
for audience engagement, because we want to hear from you, but we want to be able to talk back to you and say thank you for talking to us.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So what was the conclusion? So Bilbo's mom is a took.
Bilbo's mum is a took.
Frodo's mum's a brandy buck.
Frodo's mum is a brandy buck.
It's a brandy buck. But because they're first cousins on their mum's side, once removed,
Yep.
therefore they will have the same grandparent.
Yes.
So their grandparent is a
Oh,
took.
Bilbo's grandparent is... No. Bilbo's grandparent is Frodo's great-grandparent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah. So that's the link.
Yep. And then on Bilbo's dad's side, they're second cousins once removed.
With
So
Drogo.
with Drogo. So Bilbo's great-grandparent on the dad's side is the same as Frodo's great-great-grandparent.
Yeah.
We're there.
You got it. Geniuses.
Essentially, yeah. Something else for you to do at home. If you have funny, if you're close with a wildly connected family member, tell us and we'll try and figure out the chain.
Yes! That would be great.
All right, and we'll see how wild they are. If you're good mates with someone and they just happen to be, your third cousin 3 times removed on your mum's side, but they're also... Or if they're 2 different titles, like if they're your first and your second cousin in the same go,
Yeah.
but there's no incest.
Yes. Or incest. If there's incest too.
I mean,
those are-
yeah, I mean, we're welcome to that.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're not going to yuck anyone's yum.
No, of course. Or your relatives' yums.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's up to you. If you want to tell us about it, you're more than welcome to.
Anyway.
Alright, what else happened in this chapter? What else did I see? So for the birthday, the fireworks.
Oh, yeah, true.
I really liked the description of the fireworks.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Right? But what was most interesting was in the film, they do Merry and Pippin set off the firework for the dragon.
The dragon, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was like, bloody hell, Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just causing trouble. Oh, this has not turned out how you thought it would.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is because they're like, that was good. Let's get another one.
Yes. I love the scream that whoever did it.
That was his legit scream too. Like that was Billy Boyd screaming when the firework goes up.
Wait, Billy Boyd plays
Pippin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so Pippin is...
So pull stick to the ground. It is in the ground. And say this is your idea. Firework goes up. That wasn't even it. It was even a higher pitch than that. It was hilarious.
So, was it like, was he just not ready for...
He
for it to
was
go off?
he wasn't ready for how bright and like how big the pyro was going to be on set. So the scream that he put out was legit, and they just put that in the film.
That's
It's
amazing.
like, oh, that was so good.
Oh, yeah, that's actually one of those things that doesn't translate from film to book all that well.
Nah, I mean you can't.
How do you convey like that level of scream?
I don't know. The word shriek is the only word I can think
Shroup.
of.
A shriek and a yelp.
A shriek and a yelp, I guess.
But yeah, so in the book, you like Gandalf sets off the firework.
Yeah,
And it
Gandalf
seems
sets it off.
deliberate, and everyone's just like, "Ah, dragon!"
Yeah, but I think like because now that Gandalf knows exactly what he's doing, he's like, Bilbo's gonna love this. I'm gonna put a dragon. He's
Yeah.
like, hey Bilbo, remember that time
Oh yeah,
where I took you to Erebor?
Yeah,
and you
remember
had
that
to, and it's a face a dragon.
yeah. Imagine
Hey,
that's
here's a firework. It looks like the same dragon. How about that? I think that's hilarious. I think that's like, that's wizard level banter.
yes. That's actually good band.
I think that's great banter from
Yeah,
Gandalf.
so yeah, just unleash Benedict Cumberbatch at Bilbo. So and so Bilbo's probably standing there going, very funny. Laugh it up. Laugh it up.
Because I think there was also one last surprise in honor of Bilbo, and it startled the hobbits exceedingly, as Gandalf intended. The lights went out, a great smoke went up. It shaped itself like a mountain seen in the distance. It was like, hey, it's the Lonely Mountain, right? And began to glow at the summit. It spouted green and scarlet flames, and out flew a red golden dragon. Not life-size, but terribly lifelike. So
it's pretty much like how
fire came from its jaws, his eyes glared down, there was a roar. How do you make a firework roar? That's only a wizard thing. And he whizzed 3 times over the heads of the crowd. They all ducked and many fell flat on their faces. The dragon passed, the express train turned a somersault and burst over by water with a deafening explosion. And that's the signal for supper, said Bilbo.
Do you reckon Gandalf made the firework fly around as like an accelerated version of what Smaug did over Lake Town?
I don't know. I don't think he was. In Lake Town,
Not Dale.
he would have seen that.
Yeah, he was seeing it. And
He was there for that.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, it looks like he got... I think he went around 3 times.
Or maybe he wasn't there. I can't remember if Gandalf was there when Smaug was out and about. And I can't remember. So I don't know. He probably just said, "Yeah, we'll make it fly around and breathe fire and roar." People are gonna hate it. Like Bilbo's just going like, "Yep, very funny, Gandalf." So that's only something like close mates could do.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be
It's like,
something like I'll do to you. Or you do me.
You just scared my whole party shitless for a gag.
Good gag.
Well done. All right, everyone, let's get some food.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. I think that's something I wished could have been put on film, as opposed to like Frodo's like, Bilbo, watch out for the dragon. It's like, wait, what dragon? Like there hasn't been dragon in these parts for 1,000 years, and then everyone's like dived on the floor
Yeah.
because everyone's like, oh my god, like the audience reacts the same, but I just wish there was a bit of Bilbo just saw the dragon firework and was like, bloody old Gandalf.
You're just sort of standing there, just unimpressed.
Yeah. As opposed to like, what is going on? And then he dives on the ground and then looks at, oh, yay, what a marvelous firework. Instead of just feeling like a bit of an eye roll. I would have loved to have seen an eye roll.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. Honestly, I'm not even sure, like, he would almost... I don't think he would laugh at that. Because don't you reckon he'd be kind of traumatized from the experience? Dealing with a dragon? Like that near-death experience?
Considering he wants to go back to the mountains again.
Oh, yeah, true. So maybe he's resolved all that stuff. Anything he did have.
Yeah. So I'd say, and it's been 50 years since those events occurred. He's seen Gandalf a lot, talked about it, told stories to a bunch of people. I think he's come to terms with the events that
masking
went
his
down.
trauma through stories and humor.
Yeah.
Lots of weed.
Bunch of old Toby.
Yeah, lots of pipe weed, yeah.
Oh, I did go through the edit. I just said old Toby twice when I was explaining the difference between old Toby and long bottom leaf.
Old Toby is great. You know what else is good? Old Toby.
So maybe I subconsciously think old Toby is the best one. Instead of Southern Star.
That's it. Yeah. So what else happened?
What else happened? All right. There was an equivalent to Let Him Speak.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, like, it was pretty... Like, it was just a quick little thing. Like, Bilbo started his speech. He's like, my dear people, began Bilbo, rising in his place. Here, they shouted, and kept on repeating it in chorus, seeming reluctant to follow their own advice. So I don't know how common it is here, but in the friendship group that Nick and I have, there's a lot of let him speak as soon as
someone opens their mouth.
As soon as the speech giver opens their mouth.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. It's like,
Let him speak!
And then that'll go on for a little bit until it's like, yeah, just being contradictory.
Yeah.
But I think that's funny that there's an equivalent here. And it's
Yeah.
like, it only makes sense. Like, yeah! As in, like, we want to be able to hear
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yep.
There's one line I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
So Bilbo's in the middle of his speech and he's still talking. He's done the first few lines. I was like, yep, like, my dear Bagginses and Boffins, yay, Tooks Brandy Bucks, yay. Today's my 111th birthday, yay. Last, like, another 1,1 years among such excellent and admirable hobbits, yay. And then he starts doing the weird shit that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Of course, like, when you read the line closely enough, it does make sense.
Yep.
And they said it word for word in the film too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this one.
I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. I was like, wait, what the fuck did he say?
Yes.
Like, I mean, it was silence in the movie, but here it was like, this was unexpected and rather difficult. There was some scattered clapping, but most of them were trying to figure out and see if it came to a compliment.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
If someone said that to me, I'd be really confused.
Yeah, fair enough. But eventually they were like, oh yeah, thanks. I think.
Yeah.
But then he starts going on a little bit more, which we don't hear in the film.
Yep.
But he's talking about, and it's Frodo's birthday as well, which never gets mentioned in the film.
No, yeah, it just gets completely...
We never find out it's Frodo's birthday at the same time. But and it's like, yeah, all right, well done, Frodo. Okay, that's nice. And then he just keeps going on about it. It's like, together, like our numbers combined, 144. That's why we invited
100.
You all here today.
Yeah, a gross.
Yeah, one gross. I don't know why, but a dozen dozens is one gross
Hobbit.
in Hobbit
Hobbit
numbers.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Middle Earth thing.
They do make a point to mention, or at least Tolkien makes a point to mention, that you don't really refer to people as a gross.
Ah.
So as soon as Bilbo used that, it's like,
It's like comparing people, like comparing the people there to like livestock.
yeah. It's like, your numbers were chosen to fit this remarkable total. One gross, if I may use the expression. And then this line, I just found hilarious, is just a narration saying, no cheers. This was ridiculous. It's just like as if Tolkien is just putting shit on his own character that he created, and he decided that Bilbo would say these words, and has then decided that it was, like, again, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, no cheers. And it's not even...
That's really meta.
No one cheered after this comment. Is like, no cheers. That's probably like the most casual line
Yep.
that I've read so far,
Wow.
considering it's a book published in the 50s,
Beyond this time.
right?
Yeah.
Beyond his time, beyond his wildest dreams. This is incredible.
I think the next bit as well, they're talking about the Sackville Bagginses getting all shitty that they were invited to be part of the gross.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were...
Was it him? Was it some, or was it other ones? I know there was like one particular family of hobbits that got shitty that they got invited for the sake of filling numbers.
There were a couple... Yeah, once they were pointed out. Many of the guests, especially the Sackville Bagginses, were insulted, feeling sure they had only been asked to fill up the required number, like goods in a package.
Yeah, but that's not on Bilbo. That's on them for being insecure. Like, it doesn't matter how Bilbo feels. Like, it's on them to manage themselves and check themselves.
Yeah, right?
Like, how insecure do you have to be with yourself to get insulted or something like that?
Just because you as a collective 144 people was referred to by a term that is usually referred to in things.
Yeah.
Like a number of things as opposed to a number of people.
Yeah.
That's like, and it's like, if I may use the expression, I don't know if he's saying it like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, but if I'm just going to use it.
Yeah.
Or if he's being like, that's one gross if I may use the expression. Ha ha ha.
Or you just go, is one gross? But that's the thing, like, is just how insecure do you have to be to
be really put off by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite, as it turns out.
Terrible people.
Oh, yeah. But then it's funny because he just kept on going for like another paragraph's worth of speech. Obstinate silence.
Yep.
They all feared that a song or some poetry was now imminent. They were getting bored.
Yeah, now he's like firmly in annoying uncle territory.
Yeah, and that's where we hit that. What else is there? Not only did Gandalf know about the trick of disappearing, but Frodo knew it as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
He knew it was coming.
Well, in the book, Frodo knew it was coming. I thought that was interesting. It's just like that he's a bit more in on Bilbo's activities.
Yeah, well, probably gives a sense of what their relationship's like.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're much closer than what the movie depicts him as.
Yeah, the movie depicts him as like
They still depict him as relatively close.
Yeah, but they don't like. It's like the parent that hides a deep dark secret.
Yeah.
From their child, like that kind of relationship, as opposed to a healthy relationship.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
As I remember at the start of the movie, it's like Bilbo's up to something. It's been a bit odd lately. And then Gandalf's just like, no, yeah, really? I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, well, like it actually kind of makes sense that all three of them know.
Yeah. I think Frodo's like, he gives us the meme. All right, keep your secrets.
Yeah.
I know you have something to do with it, but really Frodo knows the secrets anyway.
Yes.
Because Bilbo's told him everything, pretty much. Or just about everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Yeah, otherwise Frodo wouldn't be able to do the executing.
Yeah, exactly.
The executing of Bilbo's will.
Exactly. So a couple more bits. So the gifts that Bilbo leaves for various relatives, I thought they were pretty funny and a bit savage.
Yeah. Oh, yes! I love those. Those were so good.
All right, so they go through 7 different presents. They give 7 examples of what's on these labels for Bilbo's guests.
Yeah.
Waiting to be collected the next day.
Yeah.
I'll give a top 2. For Milo Burrows, hoping it will be useful, from BB. So that note was on a gold pen and ink bottle.
Yep.
Milo never answers letters.
It's so passive aggressive.
So passive.
Same with my favorite one was the bookshelf.
Yeah, that was going to be
That was
my
the other one. Yeah. Okay. So what is it?
So for the collection of Hugo Bracegirdle from a contributor on an empty bookcase, Hugo was a great borrower of books and worse than usual at returning them.
Yes.
So stands to reason he's just going to have a surplus of books that belong to other people.
So he needs a bookshelf.
He needs a bookshelf. And here you go, from someone who actually has some of my books. Here, have a shelf to put my books on. I just love that one. Do you have another favorite? Oh, I don't know if you have any...
that was the only one.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that was my favorite. See, I would love to be able to do that level, give gifts of that level of pettiness.
They're very creative too. I really like it. I think this is another thing we can get viewers to do. If you got more ideas of funny gifts, funny passive-aggressive gifts.
Yes. Or have you received a passive-aggressive gift from someone?
We're going to give shout-outs to the top 3 ideas.
Actually, one of my favorite, one of the funniest gifts I ever gave someone. For one of my friend's birthdays, I gave him a care package. Now, in this care package, there's a bunch of different things that someone of his age would need. Now, he is always going on and complaining about being old and getting on in his years.
Okay.
So I figured I'm gonna try to make his life easier. So I got him all the things that someone old would need. Now this guy's turning 26 or 27. He's in his 20s and complaining he's old.
Okay.
So I got him denture cleaner, denture cleaning tablets. I got him bags of oats, prunes, dates. And I got him flyers for a bunch of different aged care facilities in Melbourne, and a little booklet on how to transition to retirement and how to utilize your super.
All right, that's a brilliant example. If anyone out there has more ideas or examples that they've actually executed like that, please let us know. We want to hear about that. Oh my god, that's fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't have any examples of that because I don't know. I just get either too thoughtful or not thoughtful at all.
Yeah.
Because then if I just put so much effort into one person's birthday, I don't want to set the bar for all my other friends. And then, because I don't know how much effort I'm going to be ready to put in.
So you just give shit gifts to everyone so everyone's expectations are managed?
Oh, sometimes no gifts at all. You'd be surprised how many gifts people don't give anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I've received a gift from you in a while.
I gave you a card.
Yeah, because I gave it to you.
Because I gave it to you. No, but you did give it to me first. Okay.
Yeah. Very.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for listening. We're going to see you next week for the next chapter. I can't remember what it's called. We're going to find out because it's going to be a mystery.
So once again, I'm Nick.
And I'm Mikkel. We are Fools of a Talk.
Bye.
Bye.
What's that? This, my friend, is a pint. It comes in pints.
Oh,
I can get you one.
a fool. But an honest fool, he remains.